What if the most dangerous man in the New World isn't a Yonko, a fleet admiral, or a member of the Gorosei? What if the ultimate wildcard of the entire Final Saga is a man currently sitting in the frozen shadows, playing a game of multi-dimensional chess that will completely dismantle the world government? I'm talking about Kuzan, formerly Admiral Aokiji. For years, the community has looked at Kuzan's sudden defection to the Blackbeard pirates with massive suspicion. We asked ourselves, is he Sword? Is he just a rogue agent looking for his own version of justice? But with the ground-shaking revelation naming Brook's home country as the Kingdom of Esperia in the West Blue, Eiichiro Oda didn't just give us a piece of musician trivia. He handed us the missing puzzle piece to Kuzan's entire lineage, his connection to Brook, his hidden ties to the Revolutionary Army, and his ultimate endgame. Today, we are diving deep into the Esperia Heritage theory. We're going to look at the exact timeline that proves Kuzan is a descendant of Brook's homeland, how this bloodline made him an ideological brother to Monkey D. Dragon, and why his apparent betrayal of the Marines to join Blackbeard is actually the final devastating phase of a revolutionary master plan. Grab your coats, because things are about to get sub-zero. If you love deep dive One Piece lore, hit that subscribe button, slam the notification bell, and let's get into it.
To understand where Kuzan is going, we have to look at where he came from. And that means looking at the West Blue, specifically the Kingdom of Esperia. Oda confirmed that before Brook was a pirate, before he sang Bink Saki on a dying ship, he was an orphan who rose to become the leader of an elite battle convoy in Esperia. Look at the visual cues Oda has left us over the decades. Brook, before he became a skeleton, was exceptionally tall, lanky, with a distinct afro and sharp facial structure. Now look at Kuzan. He is nearly 10 feet tall, carries that exact same lanky build, and sports the same iconic hair. But it goes way past a simple hair choice. Let's look at the child drawings from the SBS. Oda draws young Kuzan as a poor, wandering kid carrying a bottle of sake. Why is a future Marine admiral living in squalor as a child, drinking sake? Because his homeland was destroyed. The world government, Imu, and the Holy Knights have spent decades systematically purging kingdoms that hold dangerous secrets or rebellious bloodlines, and Esperia was right in their crosshairs. If we line up the timeline, the math is staggering. Brook is 90 years old post-time skip. He spent 50 years alone in the Florian Triangle, dying at age 38. Kuzan is 49 years old. If Brook had a child in Esperia in his early 20s before taking to the sea with Yorkie, that child would be the exact age to have Kuzan. And the thematic links? They're undeniable. Kuzan commands the Hie no Mi, the literal concept of freezing. But Brook, completely independent of a devil fruit modifier for ice, unlocked the chills of the underworld to freeze his sword, Soul Solid. It is a genetic, spiritual disposition toward the cold. Kuzan is a son of Esperia, a descendant of a kingdom wiped from the map or suppressed by the Gorosei. And that brings us to his entry into the Marines and the man who saved him, Monkey D. Garp. Think back to the first time the Straw Hats met an admiral. Kuzan tells Luffy point blank, "Your grandpa helped me a long time ago." For 15 years, we assumed this just meant Garp was a good mentor, but knowing Oda, it is infinitely deeper. If Kuzan was an orphan of a targeted nation like Esperia, how did he survive? The same way another targeted child survived. Monkey D. Garp intervened. Just like Garp hid Ace from the world government, Garp took a young, wandering Kuzan under his wing, masking his heritage and pushing him into the Marine pipeline, where the Gorosei couldn't easily execute him without raising questions. This explains Kuzan's absolute, unwavering emotional debt to Garp. But hiding inside the Navy comes with a heavy psychological toll. Kuzan entered the Marines with
burning justice. He wanted to change things, to use the system to protect people. Then came the Ohara incident. Ohara was the exact moment Kuzan realized the Marines weren't heroes. They were executioners for celestial dragons. When Spandine and the Buster Call slaughtered an entire island of scholars just for seeking knowledge, Kuzan's justice didn't die. It mutated. It became lazy justice. But lazy isn't apathy. It is a camouflage. Kuzan realized that to survive in a corrupt system while holding an Esperia heritage, you have to look unmotivated. You have to make the Gorosei think you're too lazy to be a threat. But notice what he did to Saul. He didn't use Ice Age or a shattering move. He used Ice Time Capsule. He preserved Saul, knowing that one day those books on Elbaf would be needed. Kuzan was already actively subverting the world government from within the Admiral's seat. He understood that the true history of the world, the history his ancestors in Esperia likely fought for, was being buried under mountains of blood. He knew he couldn't do it alone. He needed an outside force, an organized rebellion that shared his absolute disgust for the status quo. Enter Monkey D. Dragon. We know Dragon founded the Revolutionary Army specifically in response to the horrors of Ohara. We know Dragon was looking for freedom fighters. Is it really a stretch to think that an admiral with a suppressed heritage who just witnessed his best friend Saul get executed wouldn't secretly make contact with the most wanted man in the world? The theory that Kuzan is a high-ranking undercover asset for the Revolutionary Army bridges every single logical gap in his post-time skip behavior. They formed a silent pact. Dragon would build the movement from the outside, while Kuzan would ascend the steps of corporate power within the Navy, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Let's look at the Punk Hazard duel. Kuzan fights Akainu for 10 days for the title of Fleet Admiral. If Kuzan wins, the Revolutionary Army has a sympathetic ally sitting at the absolute top of the Marine hierarchy. It was the perfect play. They would have had structural control over the entire military apparatus of the world government. But he lost. Akainu took the seat, and absolute tyranny became the law of the Navy. Kuzan couldn't stay a regular admiral under Akainu. His cover would blow, and his morals wouldn't allow it. So he executed Plan B, going completely into the dark and infiltrating the underworld. When Kuzan joined the Blackbeard pirates, the entire world panicked. 5 Elder Stars were furious. Even Jesus Burgess told Teach, "We can't trust this guy. He's an ex-admiral." But Blackbeard, brilliant and calculating, said something incredibly profound. Pirates don't need to trust each other. They just need an alignment of interests. What is Kuzan's interest? Marshal D. Teach is a magnet for the world's ancient secrets. He is actively hunting the road poneglyphs, he understands the lineage of Zabek, and he is a direct threat to Emu. By embedding himself as the 10th Titanic captain, Kuzan isn't serving Blackbeard. He is monitoring him. Kuzan is feeding crucial structural intel back to Dragon, ensuring the Revolutionary Army knows exactly when and where the Blackbeard storm is going to hit, while simultaneously tracking the final keys to the One Piece. He is the ultimate eye in the sky. Think about how valuable this is. Teach is a wildcard who operates entirely on chaos. By having Kuzan inside the inner circle, the revolutionaries are always one step ahead. Kuzan is playing the long game, enduring the suspicion of his crewmates and the hatred of the public, all to ensure that when the final battle lines are drawn, the pieces fall exactly where Dragon needs them. This brings us to the most heartbreaking confirmation of Kuzan's double game, the raid on Hachinosu. When Sword arrived to rescue Kobe, Kuzan was forced to fight his mentor, his savior, Monkey D. Garp. To the untrained eye, Kuzan looked like a traitor, piercing Garp through the chest with an ice blade. But let's look closer at what actually happened. Kuzan went out of his way to tell the other Blackbeard pirates to stay back. He engaged Garp in a localized fight, making sure the more chaotic elements of the crew couldn't interfere.
And when Garp was wounded, Kuzan froze him. Sound familiar? It is the exact same move he used on Jaguar D. Saul at O'Hara. By freezing Garp, Kuzan didn't kill him, he cryogenically sealed him. He protected Garp from being ripped apart or executed by the vicious, bloodthirsty pirates on the island, like Shiryu or Pizarro. Kuzan sacrificed his own emotional sanity, taking the hatred of the world and the Marines, just to keep his cover intact and keep Garp alive in the ice until the final pieces fall into place. He became the villain to save the foundation of the future.
Why did he go to such extreme lengths? Because Kobe is the future of the Marines. Garp told Kuzan that. Kuzan knows that the old Marine system has to burn, but a new, honorable navy led by Sword must rise from the ashes when Dragon's revolution succeeds. The world government wants blind compliance, but Kuzan and Garp want true accountability. By saving Kobe and preserving Garp, Kuzan ensures that when the smoke clears from the final war, there will still be good people left to protect the innocent and rebuild a broken world from the ground up. When the final war erupts, the world government expects to fight the Revolutionary Army, the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, and Rogue Yonko. They think they have the board mapped out, but they have no idea that sitting right next to Marshal D. Teach is an Esperia prince, a Marine legend, and Dragon's ultimate sleeper agent. Kuzan holds all the cards. He knows the internal weaknesses of Marijois. He knows the exact tactical habits of the admirals. He knows Blackbeard's true vulnerability. And when the time is right, that ice isn't going to protect the world government. It's going to freeze them in their tracks. The Esperia Heritage isn't just a neat generational connection to Brook. It is the emotional fuel that drives Kuzan to see the empty throne shattered once and for all. He is doing it for his lost kingdom, he is doing it for Saul, he is doing it for Garp, and he is doing it for the dawn of a new world. But what do you guys think? Is Kuzan truly working directly with Dragon, or is he operating entirely on his own as a lone wolf? Do you think Brook will recognize his lineage when they finally cross paths in the final war? Let me know your wildest theories in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the icy depths of One Piece lore, make sure to leave a like. It really helps the algorithm push these videos out to more Nakama. Subscribe for weekly deep dives, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep chasing the truth. Peace.